In this video, you are going to learn how to determine and justify the validity of a deductive argument and hence determine whether the valid argument is sound. The process of making a conclusion based on statements is known as argumentation. Normally, a simple argument consists of at least two premises and one conclusion. There are two types of arguments. There are deductive argument and inductive argument. Deductive argument is a process of making a specific conclusion based on general premises. For example, all acute angles are less than 90 degrees. Angle ABC is an acute angle. Angle ABC is less than 90 degrees. So from here, all acute angles are less than 90 degrees is general statement. What is the meaning of general statement? The general statement is statement that describe a concept. Angles ABC is an acute angle. Angle ABC is less than 90 degrees are specific statements. Specific statements are statements that refer to a particular case. Whereas inductive argument is a process of making a general conclusion based on specific premises. For example, 12 is a multiple of 3. 24 is multiple of 3. All multiples of 12 are multiples of 3. So here, 12 is multiple of 3 and 24 is multiple of 3 are specific statements. It looks like example. All multiples of 12 are multiples of 3. So this is general statement. A valid deductive argument can be categorized into three forms. Form 1, premise 1, all A are B. Premise 2, C is A. Conclusion, C is B. So follow the sequence. You write A first, after that B. Argument form 2. Premise 1, if P then Q. Premise 2, P is true. Conclusion, Q is true. So you write, follow the sequence also, P first, followed by Q. Argument form 3. Premise 1, if P then Q. Premise 2, not Q is true. Conclusion, not P is true. So now you write Q first, followed by P. After we learn three forms of argument, we need to determine whether the deductive argument valid or not valid. The validity of an argument is determined based on the form of argument. The argument is valid if it complies with any of three forms of deductive argument. So if the argument is valid, we will determine whether sound or not sound. The argument sound when both premises and conclusion are true. The argument not sound when there are false premises or conclusion. Let us look at example 1. Is the argument valid and sound? If it is not, justify your answer. Premise 1. All actresses are good at dancing. Premise 2. Jasmine is an actress. Conclusion, Jasmine is good at dancing. So, before you determine whether the argument is valid or not, you must know this argument is from which form. The keyword is or, so means this argument is from form 1. Premise 1 is all A are B. So here actresses is A, good at dancing is B. Premise 2, C is A. So here Jasmine C, actress is B. Conclusion, C is B. Jasmine C, good at dancing, here is B, so automatic here also B. Above argument is a valid argument because the argument fulfills form 1 as shown above. Here. After we determine whether the argument valid or not valid, now we determine whether the argument sound or not sound. So based on premise 1, 2 and conclusion, we found that premise 1 is a false statement because not all actresses are good at dancing. So the argument above is unsound because premise 1 is false. Now we look at example 2. Premise 1. All actresses are good at dancing. Premise 2. Jasmine is good at dancing. Conclusion. Jasmine is an actress. So now we want to determine whether the argument valid or not valid. So this is argument form 1. So we label all the letters O, A, R, B. Jasmine is C, is good at dancing is B. Jasmine C, actress is from here is A. So all A are B. C is B, C is A. The argument above is not valid because it does not comply with any of 3 forms of valid deductive argument. When argument is not valid, automatic it is unsound also. Now we try to answer question number 1. Is the argument valid and sound? If it is not, justify your answer. Premise 1. All prime numbers are odd numbers. Premise 2. 3 is a prime number. Conclusion. 3 is an odd number. So we label the letter O, A, R, B. 3. C is A. C is B. Okay, so this is valid argument because it complies with a valid form of deductive argument. Now we determine whether this argument sound or unsound. So we check all prime numbers are odd numbers, but number 2 is prime number. Number 2 not an odd number. So the premise 1 is false. Conclusion. This argument valid but not sound because premise 1 is not true. Question number 2. Premise 1. If j minus 2 less than 7, then j greater than 7. Premise 2. At minus 2 less than 7. Conclusion. At greater than 7. First, we determine this argument is from which form. So, here is if P then Q. So, follow the sequence or not, j change to at minus 2 less than 7. So, here P, if P, then Q. P write down to premise 2, so this is P. And conclusion is Q. So this is a valid argument because it complies with a valid form of deductive argument, which is form 2. So after we determine valid or not valid, now we determine whether this argument sound or not sound. If j minus 2 less than 7, then j is greater than 7. Let's say I assume j is 10. 10 minus 2 is 8, is greater than 7. So premise 1 is a false statement. Conclusion: this argument valid but not sound because premise 1 is not true. Question number 3. Premise 1. If y is an odd number, then 3y is an odd number. Premise 2. 3y not an odd number. Conclusion: y is not an odd number. So this is argument form 3 because we have not. So if I write the letter, if P, then Q. 3y not an odd number is not Q. Conclusion: y is not an odd number is not P. This is valid argument. So now we want to determine whether it is sound or not sound. Okay, if y is an odd number, then 3y is an odd number. So we substitute one of the number here. Let's say y is 5. Then 3 times 5 is 15. So if 5 is an odd number, then 15 is an odd number. So it's true. So conclusion: this is valid and sound argument. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe for more.